I'm Andi Smiley, the Friendly Podcast Guide. Today, I'm going to tell you what is saving my life right now. I first heard this phrase from Kendra Adachi, the host of the Lazy Genius podcast, and she got this idea from author Barbara Brown Taylor. Barbara Brown Taylor asks and answers this question in her memoir, Leaving Church. I really like the idea of focusing on the things that make my life better. It helps me see those things easier in my everyday life. And as a stay-at-home mom of 3 littles, 5 years old and younger, in the winter, where it's too cold for my kids to go outside easily, I need all the help I can get. I hope that you can find some information that can help you with your life in my list of 10 things, but more than anything, I hope that listening to my list can inspire you to make your own list of things that are saving your life right now. Okay, now on to my list. The first thing that is saving my life right now is getting in bed at 9 p.m. without my phone and waking up at 6 a.m. I am not a night person. Around 9 p.m. is when my ability to think clearly and do things efficiently shuts down, almost completely. So something that would normally take me 5 minutes to do, like write an email or record a quick voiceover, will take at least 15 minutes. But as a mom of littles, I seem to have this default mindset of once the kids are in bed, I want to do whatever I want to do for however long I want to do it, because I don't get to really do that during the day. So inevitably, I stay up late. Then, the next morning, I kick myself because I realize that I could have gotten so much more done with a full night's sleep and a fully awake brain if I would have just went to bed early and got up early. So, I'm trying to slowly train my brain that getting into bed at 9 and waking up at 6 is not only good for my mind, body, and spirit, it's also really good for my business. Side note, my kids that are able to leave their room without my assistance, the 5 and 3-year-old, have an okay to wait clock, so even if they wake up before 7, they are supposed to hang out in their room until 7, and the 18-month-old is pretty good about hanging out in her crib until 7. So that's what makes this even possible, unless, of course, there's a kid emergency, like someone sneezes and needs a tissue because there are boogers everywhere. Isn't parenting so exciting? So, as long as no kid emergency happens, then I know that I have a full hour to work with a fully functioning brain from 6 to 7. I'll put a link to the OK to Wait clock in the show notes. It really has made our mornings run much smoother. The second thing that is saving my life right now is doing brain dumps like Kendra Adachi, the Lazy Genius, talks about on her podcast. I think this might be a theme of the episode, but my brain is busy and it can easily send me into an anxiety spiral if I let it. So, to avoid that, I do brain dumps at least once a week. For my brain dumps, I set a timer, usually for about 10 minutes, and I just write down everything in my brain, from the things I need to do for the podcast to what we're having for dinner, and everything in between. Then, when the timer goes off, I stop writing, because I've learned that if I let myself brain dump continuously, then that in and of itself can cause an anxiety spiral. After I've written everything down, I do a trick I learned from Kendra Adachi. I label each thing as either now, later, or never mind. The things I label as now are things that have immediate need. Making dinner, paying a bill, stuff like that. The things I label as later are things that are important, but not something that has to happen immediately. Writing a podcast episode, switching out the kids' clothes from winter to spring, etc., etc. The things I label as never mind are things that I thought were important when they were swirling around in my head, but now that they're down on paper, I realize that they aren't that big of a deal, and I can stop stressing about them. Usually these things are like being worried if the neighbor is mad at me because I forgot to bring the trash cans in, or not being sure if I like how I organize my shoes. Then I put the now stuff on my to-do list, or text Scott about them so we can tackle them together, and make sure to put the later stuff on my calendar for when they need to happen. The third thing that's saving my life is the 5-minute tidy. As a mom of littles, I am working to help myself internalize that motherhood is about relationships, not keeping a house clean. So that when the house is a mess, I don't feel like a bad mom. But on the other hand, my body and brain are more at peace when my house is at least somewhat clean and tidy. This is where the 5-minute tidy came from. At some point during each day, I'll either turn on a 5-minute timer or a couple of songs that add up to 5 minutes. Then I clean until the timer goes off. It's a great way for me to feel a little bit of control over the tidiness of my house, but I don't spend a long time cleaning when my kids will probably mess it all up again in the following half an hour. The fourth thing that is saving my life is my Business Mom Daily Planner. I love using a physical planner. It really helps me to write out what my week looks like and be able to look at the things I have to do for the week, both on my phone's calendar and in my physical planner. There are a couple of things that I really like about this planner specifically. It has 3 priorities that I fill out for each day. It has a business area and a mom area. The business area has a spot for me to put my business goals for the week, along with other important things I want to get done for the podcast. And the mom area has a spot for our family meal plan. It also has a spot for me to write out what my week will look like, and a place for me to add what I plan on doing during each day's quiet time. There's also a spot at the end of the week for me to record how my week went, including my wins, what I need to improve, and what I'm grateful for, which has helped me to live in the moment a bit more, because that is definitely a struggle for me. Michelle Gifford is the woman behind the Business Mom Planner, and she also runs a business coaching group called Moneymakers. I'm part of the Moneymakers group, and I have learned so much, and my business has grown in so many ways since I joined Moneymakers in October. If you're ready to take your business to the next level, then I would highly recommend Moneymakers. I'll put a link in the show notes to where you can learn more about it and sign up. The fifth thing that is saving my life right now is our 3-month pass to a local rec center. Let me start off by saying I don't like to run. I have short legs, and it's not easy for me. But Scott likes to run. It's his favorite way to exercise. One of our family values is moving our bodies to help us feel healthy and strong, and one of the ways that we fulfill this value is by going on family runs. For me, it's more like a jog/walk. But running outside with littles in the Utah winter is next to impossible, and we just haven't been doing it. So we bought a pass to a local rec center so that we can run on their track. I love being back into a routine of running, or jog/walking. We go on Tuesday mornings and Saturday mornings, and I love being able to count on it every week. The rec center also has other stuff that the kids love, like an indoor swimming pool and kids yoga class, and these have helped us to get out of the house, especially on the coldest days. Before I tell you about the other 5 things that are saving my life right now, we're going to take a quick break to talk about my Guide to Kid Podcasts. One of my favorite parenting tools is kid podcasts. I use them when I'm running errands with the kiddos to keep them from complaining the whole time, or when I need a mom break, I'll just grab an easy activity like coloring pages or a sensory bin, turn on a kid podcast, and the kids will be entertained for at least half an hour. I know that kid podcasts would help you in your life too, which is why I made a Guide to Kid Podcasts. There are 8 different categories ranging from science to mindfulness to audio drama, with at least 3 podcasts in each category. There are 27 different podcasts in total on the guide. I've listened to each of the podcasts on this guide, so I can attest to them being kid-friendly. And I put my email at the bottom of the guide so that if you try a couple with your kids and none of them are a good fit, you can email me and I will personally help you find a kid podcast that works for your littles and you. You can grab this guide at the link in the show notes. Okay, back to my list. The 6th thing that is saving my life right now is me time once a week during quiet time. I have a lot of things I want to learn and improve in my life, but a couple of months ago, I realized that I'm getting burned out using every quiet time during the week to do work or take an online course. So Wednesday's quiet time is now me time. It's still hard for me to do sometimes because there is always a project that I need to work on or something to clean, but the rejuvenation I feel after I do this me time is completely worth it. I usually watch a show and paint my nails, and I absolutely love it. I use Olive and June nail polish because it lasts for a week with no chipping, and I absolutely love the colors. If you use the link in the show notes, you can get 20% off a mani or pedi system. The 7th thing that is saving my life right now is quiet time. So I realize I've been talking about quiet time on this list, but I haven't explained what that is. So let me explain. I first heard of quiet time on the 3 and 30 Takeaways for Moms podcast. It's pretty much for when your kids stop taking a nap, but we all still need some quiet time. So the kids that don't take naps still have quiet time either in their room or a playroom where they play by themselves. Quiet time is how I make it through the day without going crazy. It gives me a couple of hours to reset and do whatever I want in the middle of the day. If you want to try implementing quiet time in your house, I'll put the link to the 3 and 30 episode all about quiet time in the show notes. The 8th thing that is saving my life right now is the song Good as Hell by Lizzo. I love being a mom, but there are days when it is so hard. On those days, after I put the kids down, It's almost always on a night when I have to put the kids down by myself because Scott is working late. I turn on the song Good as Hell by Lizzo and dance around the kitchen while I clean up. It's wonderful and freeing and sort of a treat because I try to avoid listening to songs with a bunch of cursing when my kids are around. After I'm done listening to it a couple times, I have a smile on my face and I can move on with my night. The ninth thing that is saving my life is listening to the podcast with Knox and Jamie while folding laundry. Y'all, I do not like to fold laundry. The way that I usually get myself to fold the laundry is by saving the newest episode of the podcast with Knox and Jamie for folding. Every time I listen to the podcast, I laugh so hard and I always learn something, from a new book I should read to the fact that Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson were only fake dating. Knox and Jamie are delightful to listen to, their accents are awesome, and I love their unique takes on pop culture. It's actually one of my goals to have them on my show, so I'm putting it into the universe that they'll be on my show at some point. The 10th thing that is saving my life right now is the everyday style courses. I've never been very confident in the way that I look and dress. I think it's mostly because I've never sat down and decided on what I wanted my style to be, and because for a long time I hadn't accepted my body as awesome just the way it is. I've been doing a lot of work on my body image for the past couple of years, and I've come a long way. One book that really helped me if you're looking for a place to start is called More Than a Body by Lindsay and Lexi Kite. I'll put a link to it in the show notes. The theme of the book is your body is an instrument, not an ornament, which is a mantra I tell myself on hard body days. Now that I'm more confident in my body, I've started working on figuring out my style. And the Everyday Style School courses have helped me not only figure out my style, but also find clothes that flatter my body type and organize my closet in a way that makes it easy to get dressed in the morning. Now as I shop, I'm able to look at a piece of clothing and have a pretty good idea if it's a good fit for me or not. If you want to start your journey to figuring out your style, or how to dress your body shape, there are a couple of everyday style quizzes that you can use. First is the body shape quiz, which helps you figure out what body shape you are and get 10 essential wardrobe pieces for your shape. The second one is the wardrobe personality quiz, which helps you to figure out your signature style and 10 essentials for your unique style. Or if you're ready to deep dive into figuring out your style and dressing to help you feel the most like you, I would recommend signing up for the Style Circle annual membership. I'll put a link in the show notes. The Style Circle is where members have access to all 3 style masterclasses, the current capsule guide, which helps you to decide what to wear for the current season, and the past 3 capsule guides, as well as the ability to join the Facebook community for additional challenges and extra support. I'll make sure to have all of those links in the show notes for you. Those are the 10 things that are saving my life right now. Hopefully, my list helped you realize some of the things that are saving your life right now. Also, if you have any ideas on what I should call these Thursday episodes, I've been throwing around the name Andi's Corner or maybe Andi's Musings, but I don't really love either of them. So if you have any ideas, please DM me or send me an email. I'm open to any and all ideas. Talk to you soon.